lovely Saturday surprise. You guys get me today. My name is Magali Castro, and I will be your host today. I am dialing in from the state of Arizona. It's wonderful to see everyone connected. Please turn on your cameras, grab your pads and your pen, because we have a super, super duper special guest today for today's leadership. We will be hearing from the lovely woman who is in Fresno, California. Her and her husband saw this opportunity a few years ago. They are known as the gas station flippers because that's what they do for a living. Complete entrepreneurial spirits, a lovely, wonderful couple that I got the opportunity to meet. Natasha Ismail from Fresno has been a mentor to many of us. She is known as the teacup lady, who we all admire and love so much. And she is here to share some really, really special information, a little bit more growth. So make sure that you guys take some notes today. I'd love everyone to help me welcome Miss Natasha Ismail from Fresno, California.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. So I guess I did a good job on the other two calls because Mr. Thomas graciously asked me to do a third one. So here we are. But welcome everyone, and thank you so much, Miss Magali Castro, for that amazing introduction. And I've gotten to know her. She was like a part of the first group of people that I met in this business, which has been really cool because we've been able to build this together, see each other develop and grow, and she's become one of my closest friends. So for that, Ms. Castro, thank you so much. And of course, a shout out to Mr. Thomas. He is traveling the world somewhere, so he's not here today. And another shout out to Mr. Clemens, obviously, who none of this would be possible without. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. And tonight's going to be a little bit more casual. So everybody just take a deep breath. Okay, I saw Sam Foster. He had like the best face. So everybody just take a deep breath. It's going to be super casual tonight, but I do have something super special planned. And everybody that's on this call is exactly who is meant to be on this call. If anybody else is supposed to be on here, they're going to jump on here later. But what it tells me about every single one of you is that you guys are different, is that you're a champion. Because champions are the ones that show up extra to practice. Champions are the ones that are made, that work all the time, even when nobody's watching. So the fact that everybody's here tonight, and let me see who we got here. Is it Mr. Brewski? Because I know it's Mr. John, but I just want to say it right. Mr. Rick, hello. Miss Catherine Williams is driving, hello. Mr. Kush, hello. Miss Sensational, love the glasses. I just got to come see your eye doctor one time, okay? Miss TJ, hello. Mr. Sam Foster, hello. Miss Diane Collins from Australia, hello. Miss Belinda Batiste, Mr. Al Randolph, hello. Mr. James Clark, hello. Mr. Fetty Sherman. We couldn't even start the call without you, so I'm glad that you're here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and talk about a couple of things. It's going to be super interactive, so you guys can type in the chat later on. If we have time, we're going to do a Q&A. I did get a couple questions, which I'm going to tie into the training. But I remember when I was halfway probably to RD. We were probably about halfway. And I got asked a question by someone, which is one of my mentors in the business, and I froze when I got that question. So I'm going to give everybody that question, and I want you to put the answer in the chat. Okay, so you got your typing fingers ready. Are we ready? Miss Catherine Williams, you're exempt because you're driving. I see you. So why are you doing this business? Why are you doing this business? Why are you doing ACN? Type it in the chat. Looking for freedom. Okay. To retire my wife, Mr. Rick, okay. For my family, okay. These are amazing answers. Now, I want you to see a lot of people put freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from what? What are you looking for freedom from? To help the family. Okay, Mr. Fetty Sherman, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean to help their family? For financial and legacy building, okay, why, Mr. Sam Foster? Why is that important? For my family and financial freedom, why? Do you guys see the trend? So when I was asked this question, I gave an answer just like a lot of the answers in the chat. And then my mentor said, but why? Like, why? Why do you want the freedom? What do you want the freedom from? You want to make money? Okay, why? Like, what is that going to get you? Because I guarantee you, every single morning when you wake up to build this business, if you say, I'm doing this for freedom, it's not going to get you to keep going when somebody says this is a scam. It's not going to get you to keep going when somebody tells you you're crazy. It's not going to keep you going on the days that you don't feel like it. Because trust me, Mr. Clemens and I just had a conversation right before this, okay? And both of us had stuff going on and we were like, we're here. Like, we're not canceling, we're not doing anything, we're going to show up and get it done because we know why we're doing this. So you have to know what's the why behind what you're doing. So I'm going to give everyone 3 keys to success and then a bonus, which is like the secret sauce of tonight's call, okay? So with this, I promise you, if you implement everything I'm going to cover on this call, and I love that it's a smaller group, it's not like 100 people today, because everything that I'm going to go over is the results that this group right here is gonna get, everybody's gonna be like, what did you guys do? Mr. Thomas is gonna be like, what did I miss that day? Like, why are people doing so much more now? Like, what is going on, okay? And it's going to come out of all of you right here on the call. Okay, Miss Belinda Batista is ready. Mr. Sam Foster is ready. We like, let's go. Mr. James Clark taking notes already. Okay. So the first key to success is your why, which is exactly why I started out with that question. You have to know, why are you even doing this business? I had a conversation with somebody today and they were like, I want to quit my job. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do this business full time, And it's like, so why don't you? Right? But in order for that person to do that, they have to know why they're going to do it. Like, why are you going to do this business? You want freedom? Okay, from what? What does that mean to you? Because freedom for somebody that immigrated here from a different country means something else. Freedom for somebody that was born here means something else. So what does it mean to you? Freedom for my parents when they immigrated here from Pakistan meant a better future for their family. My dad's dad passed away when he was about 5 years old. And I don't think I've ever talked about my family in detail like this. So, because you guys are a special group, okay? But my dad is one of 7 and he's the youngest. And when my grandpa passed away, my grandma could not handle all of the kids. So she put him into a boarding school. Now imagine being 7 or 8 years old and he did not even know during the funeral what was going on. Then imagine being put into, I just got the chills. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm saying it for a reason. Imagine being 8 years old and being put into a boarding school when you barely understand what's going on. He kept trying to run away, kept doing stuff like that. And then once he got a little bit older, probably about 16, 17, he ran away from the boarding school again. Because who would want to be in there? Okay, so imagine being away from your family for years and only getting to see them maybe once a month when they can afford to come see you. So freedom for my dad meant something different. Freedom for my dad meant to be able to be with his family, to be able to provide for his family. For my grandma not to have to go house to house washing people's dishes and getting their leftovers to feed her family. So what does it mean to you? So I'm going to ask again, why are you doing this business? And give me a more in-depth answer than freedom or money or anything like that. You really have to know why you're doing this, because there's going to be days when you don't feel like getting up and doing it. There's going to be days trust me when you don't feel like calling another person. There's going to be days when somebody doesn't answer you back. There's going to be days when you're at an event on Saturday, you're super excited because you had like 17 confirmations. And then 2 people showed up, but instead of focusing on the 2, you're thinking about the other 15 that aren't even there. And then you're going to feel like, oh my God, I failed. Nobody wants to do this business. How am I going to build this? And then that negative self-talk starts. And then it's that cycle all over again. So what is it going to be that's going to keep you going? Sam Foster, for my grandson's future. Kush, I want to be an example for my nieces and nephews. Perfect. You have to know, why are you getting out of bed every single morning? Like there's some people, I look at some people and I'm just like, how do they do it? Like, have you ever looked at Mr. Thomas and you're just like, how the heck does he do it? Like, why is he still doing it? Right? But it's because all of us are encompassed in his why. Like when you get one-on-one time with Mr. Thomas, you really, you understand that he does not need the money. You understand that he literally could have retired years ago. You understand that his mission now is to serve and help other people build their business. It's to help other people's families get free. It's to help other people experience the lifestyle that he's been able to experience. Why else would he do a contest and be like, hey, I'm going to pay for everything? Like, nobody does that. Nobody does that, right? So he knows his why. You really have to know your why. So that's key number 1. So even after we get off this call, because I could like deep dive into this with people, but after we get off the call, really just take like 30 to 60 seconds and just ask yourself, like, why am I even going anymore? Why am I doing this? Number 2, key number 2 is you have to make a decision. You have to decide that you're going to do something. Like when we decided to do the RD run, it was a big decision. It was, but it wasn't at the same time because we knew we were going to do it, right? It's like either you do it now or you do it later, but either way, it's going to get done. But you just have to make a decision that you're really going to commit. Can you commit the next 30 days to your business and your future? Is your why important enough? Can you commit the next 60 days to your why? Can you commit the next 90 days to your why? Everything is connected and it works just like gears and everything in a clock or in a car. Everything works together. So you have to have all these pieces. Are you going to go after your dreams? Are you going to make your dreams come true? Do you even know what your dream is anymore? That goes back to the why we're doing what we're doing, right? When you get the money, what are you going to do with it? Do you believe to your core that your family deserves better? Do you believe to your core that you deserve better? And do you believe to your core that you're worth all of that? That you're worth making that decision for? Your family's worth making that decision for? Because Mr. Thomas, I promise you, he will tell you it's worth it. No matter what he had to go through, like we've heard his stories about, there's this one that I'll never forget. It's one of my favorite stories that he tells. And that was his pivotal moment. It was the moment where he made a decision. And I don't know who else remembers the story, but he had a PBR set one day and it started to rain and he was lugging his TV around. Mr. Sam Foster remembers. Okay. He was lugging his TV around. He puts it in the trunk. He gets all his stuff, closes the trunk, gets in the car, and he's driving. He gets to the PBR house, okay? And it is pouring at this point. It is raining, okay, Miss TJ, it is raining, all right? Ladies, we can't get this wet, but luckily, I don't think he had hair at that time. So he gets out of the car, okay? And he takes out all this stuff, goes back, brings out the TV, goes back to the door. He rings the doorbell and they turn the porch light off. They turned the porch light off. He drove all that way in the rain, carried all that stuff around. They turned off the porch light, didn't even open the door. And he said at that moment, he made a decision that he was going to be successful in this. And sometimes it takes us hitting rock bottom because the only way we can go is up. Sometimes it takes somebody saying something that pisses us off a lot to go be successful in this business. Have you had your moment yet? Because I promise you, if you haven't had it yet, it's coming. Okay, so prepare for that. Number 3, you need discipline and commitment. Discipline and commitment. George Zalicki says commitment is carrying out the action long after the feeling of motivation has left you. Commitment is carrying out the action long after the feeling of motivation has left you. So now, are you committed to your decision that you made for your why? You need that commitment. You need that discipline. Because let me tell you something, if you decide to do a 90-day run these next 90 days until like the end of the year, it will be the most chaotic, but most like emotional fun time of your life. Okay. But you have to have discipline and make a commitment. So how do we have discipline, Tasha? Like, I'm all over the place. I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. You use a planner. Okay. Somebody made fun of me for this yesterday. Okay. I was talking to her and she was like, oh, are we meeting at this and this time? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, are you writing it in your planner right now? And I was like, yeah, how'd you know? And she was like laughing at me, but it's like, who's the one that's going to remember it? Right? So use a planner. I cannot tell you how much a planner has saved my life. There's not been a year that I haven't used one since 8th grade. Because we got like free planners, and ever since then I was like, I like this, right? I like it. Kush has a planner, like he has a pretty blue planner, right? But using a planner is going to keep you accountable and it's going to keep you disciplined. Because if at 1 o'clock you're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, I'm going to die, I need to eat right now. No, bro, you scheduled a PBR. You need to do that PBR and then you can eat after or eat before. But that planner is key. Okay, key. Now, is everybody ready for the secret sauce? Are we ready for the secret sauce? Okay, I need you to put sauce in the chat. Put sauce, put secret sauce, put saucy. I don't care, Mr. Aaron Randolph, just don't put I'm saucy, okay? Because that's another conversation. Just put sauce in there, okay? Now, with this method that we learned, okay, this one thing that we learned at an international, this one little secret that one of the RVPs had used, I'm going to go over with you guys today. And I don't know who's heard it already. I don't know who needs to hear it, but I know we got new people on here. So I'm going to give you this secret that we were able to accomplish RD with in 2.5 weeks after we made a decision. We put in over, and I'm not saying this to brag, like I'm telling you this so you know how much we did, and if we can do it, you can do it, okay? We put in over 281 points in 2.5 weeks. Over 281 points in 2.5 weeks. That's like half of RD right there. So can you imagine how many of you, well, you don't have to raise your hand, okay? But if you want to, how many of you are RC right now? How many of you are super close to RC? Okay. Now imagine, not even in 2.5 or 3 weeks, okay? Let's say in 5 to 6 weeks from now, if you promote to regional director, how would that make you feel? Miss Sherian's like, yeah. How would that make you feel? And again, like I cannot stress enough, I promise you, if you implement everything that I'm going over in this call, every single thing, and work it together, you will become RD before the end of the year is out. And I don't know who wants to do that. You need to know why you want to do that. And you need to have a commitment. You need to make a decision, okay? But what I'm about to share with you does not leave this call. Just kidding. Just kidding. You can tell people, but I mean, just show them, just show people. Okay, Miss Diane Collins, just show them. She's already like at the cusp. Okay, she's right there. All right. So everybody in your notes, write down 100 squares. 100 squares. That is it. Training over. Just kidding. Okay. So what we did, because we wanted to look at it every single day, we wanted to keep track every single day. I'm going to explain this method and I'm going to teach you how to make a chart for yourself. Okay. If you stick to this chart until the end of the year, you just watch what happens. What if you just put in an extra 100 points? Okay. What if you just get an extra 10 IBOs? What if you hit RC? What if you hit RD before 2023? Everything that you've gone through up until this moment will be worth it. Sam Foster sleeping on the floor is going to be worth it because he's been hustling. Like we see it, right? But sometimes it's like, no matter how much you're doing, there's something that just hasn't clicked yet. Like there's just two wires that are disconnected, but as soon as they connect, it sparks everywhere. And like, that's it. That's it. There's a fire. You can't stop it. Okay. Now the 100 squares method is what you're going to use to track exposures only. Exposures only, meaning somebody has seen the video of the business or they have seen the presentation. This can be online or in person or the video. Okay, there's three ways right now that we can share this, right? So only exposures. Okay, no, like I got a name and number, that's great, it doesn't go on the chart. Oh my God, but this person said call me tonight, I'm in, I don't even know what it is yet. They do not go on the chart until they have seen it and you find out at the end if they are in or they want to be a customer or not right now, they're referring you to somebody else. Okay. When you get an exposure and those three answers. So what I did is we write 1, 2, or 3. Now to make it easier, you can write IBO or customer or no or referral. Okay. So I'm going to show you mine and then I'll kind of explain what goes into every box. Okay. So now you can do this on a regular size piece of paper, just a regular printer paper, blank piece of paper, or you can get a poster board. Okay. They're like 50 cents at Walmart or the dollar store or wherever. Okay. Cut it in half and you're going to do 10 by 10 squares with the ruler. Okay. 10 by 10 is going to give you 100 squares. Okay. So here's ours when we went on our run and we were able to, look at how much we still had left. Okay. Cause this was just for RD. So do you see like, this is all still left down here. So imagine all of this. How many rows is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 rows. Okay. Got us to RD. Over 280 points from this. Okay. So now on the very top, you are going to write RD by, and then your date. So if your date is for the end of the year, I would say December 30th, because give yourself an extra day for the system to update, So put RD by, and then put your date. If it's earlier than that, great, put it down. But you need to see that date every single day, okay? The first thing that's gonna go in there is the person's name. So their name, if you need to write a note to remember who they are, do that. Okay. If you meet them at the grocery store in the fruit aisle, talking about watermelons, write that down. Okay. If you meet them, Miss Sherry, in McDonald's drive-through, but you can't remember who they are because there's so many of them. Okay. Just put a note down so you remember. Okay. The one with the pink hair. Okay. Whatever notes you need to put down, put the notes down. Okay. So name, then you're going to write the date. of the exposure. Okay? Not the day you met them, not the day they came to your birthday party because you became friends. No, the day they saw the business. Okay? So name, date, and the result. So what happened? Did they become an IBO? Did they become a customer? Did they say no? Did they run away? Or did they refer you to someone? Okay? So those are the three main things. If you want to add anything else in there, feel free to add whatever else you want in there. But the whole idea of this 100 squares is to keep it simple. Okay? Name, date, result. That's it. Name, date, result. Name, date, result. Say it with me. Name, date, result. Say it again. Name, date, result. Okay, there we go. We got it. Okay, that's it. Those three things. And I don't know, since this is a Saturday leadership, if the recording is going to be made available. Maybe just for you guys that were on here. Maybe if Mr. Clemens is like up for it. I don't know. But okay. But everything in this call, if you implement it, I'm telling you, like, I cannot tell you. We got to walk, well, I walked the stage because my husband was at the stores, but I got to walk right at the very last regional event that we had in LA before the lockdown. They weren't even going to give us the venue for that day. So we drove from here all the way to LA. Okay. It was like 5 or 6 hours or something. I don't even know. Okay. But that feeling, and Mr. Thomas flew in for the promotion, which was like, we were both big crying babies that day. Okay. But that feeling you get when you actually accomplish it is indescribable. During the next 90 days, if you decide to do a run, will it be hard? Yes. Will people tell you it's a scam? Yes. Will people tell you you're crazy, I'm not doing it? Yes. Will people tell you, oh my God, I'm so in, Miss Belinda, meet me at Panera tomorrow? And then will they get abducted by aliens? Yes. Okay. Will people start avoiding you at Starbucks because you guys are shaking your heads. We've experienced this. We're good at this, right? Yes. Literally, people will start ignoring you because they're ashamed that they didn't follow through with what they said. So it's not on you, okay? It's not about you. So when people say something, or when they do something, or when they don't do something, the biggest secret is don't take it personal. You know how people say to keep business and personal life separate? Do that. Business is business. I love watching Shark Tank. Who here loves watching Shark Tank? Exactly. Okay. They have like a marathon on and I'm like working and watching and working and watching. Because how many of these people with their hopes and dreams come to the Sharks and Kevin is just like, you're dead to me. Like, get out of here. Right? All the time. But you can take it two ways. You can either use it to defeat you or use it to fuel you. You do not take things personal. They get so many things said to them, like so many people say stuff, people don't believe in them, but you don't take it personal. You have to have thick skin. Okay? If I ask Sam Foster right now, how many times did someone say no, or say that you're crazy, or say like, I'm going to tell the cops on you or whatever, right? I'm pretty sure he has a big number. I'm pretty sure he has a decent sized number, right? He said all the time. You have to have thick skin. Do not take things personally. And I got a question on mindset, so I'm going to end with this, okay? What is the mindset needed when you're building the business and you have a really big vision for your business, but when you look at your bank account, it doesn't match? I don't know who else feels like that, but I'm sure, I can almost guarantee that there's more than 2 people on the call that feel that way. And it might not be right at this moment. It might have been before. But when you have a really big vision for your business, that's all it starts with. What does an oak tree start with? A seed. How much time does it take for the bamboo tree to grow? We saw that earlier this week. years, 5 years, but you have to water it every single day. You have to have it get sunlight every single day. But then what happens after? It shoots up out of nowhere, right? You're like, where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? I didn't even see anything. There wasn't even anything there. But the person that planted the seed knew that it was there. And the person that plants the seed might not always be the one who gets to reap the benefits. The person who plants the seed might not always be the one who gets to see the fruits of their labor. But in this business, if you do it right, you get to. You get to be there. Like, look at Mr. Thomas. It started out with one seed, and then he built a global business of people all over the world in different countries. Magazines for over a decade in a row. He's been on TV. He's been on interviews. Like, he's been on shows, all of this stuff. But it started out with that vision. So when you have a vision and you look at your bank account and it doesn't match, just tell yourself, this is temporary. And you know what? Enjoy looking at it, because it ain't going to look like that for long. Okay? But that's what you have to tell yourself. That's the mindset that you have to have, is starting with the end in mind. But every time you look at that bank account, how many of you know The Rock? I love The Rock. Okay. So anytime you hear him tell his story, what does he always say? I came here with $7 in my pocket. How many of you have heard him say that, right? $7 in my pocket. And now guess what? He has a production company called $7 or something like that, right? But how many years did it take? He started out wrestling. Nobody even wanted him. Look at where he's at now. So tell yourself, this isn't for long. Laugh at your bank account. Laugh at it. Be like, this is a joke. Like, this is a joke, and this is the last time that it's going to look like this. This is the last time that I'm going to be living paycheck to paycheck. This is the last time I'm worried about, okay, but if I pay my light bill on the 15th, and if I pay my water bill on the 16th, I'm going to have enough money to do both. Okay, but if I go buy groceries at that grocery store over there, yeah, it's going to take me more gas, but I'm going to save money over there. I got gas in my tank. Okay, if I drive to that PBR, am I going to have enough to make it back home and then go to work the next day? Tell yourself, this is the last time that you're going to struggle. It's the last time that your family's going to see struggle. How long do you want your bank account to look like that? And you know what? It's not always that we're not working or that we're not doing something, but can we always be doing more? Can we always be doing more? Like, isn't there one more person we can call? Isn't there one more customer that we can get? Isn't there one more person that we can help? There's always room for more, but you have to have had enough. You have to have hit that breaking point to where you're just like, I'm done with this. Like, you have to be, I just got the chills, so somebody needs to hear this. We heard Ryan Ruiz say, I was sick and tired. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Have you had enough yet? Have you had enough of, I got to pay this bill on this day? Have you had enough of looking at the freaking back of the menu, because you know if you buy something from the regular pages of the menu that we ain't gonna be able to pay one of the bills? It sucks. It sucks. And yes, during COVID, a lot of people went back there, but guess what? Not anymore. You are not going into 2023 the way you're coming out of 2022. You are going to change your family tree. You are going to change that bank account. You have to have the mindset that, you know what, this is temporary. What do you want your bank account to look like? I have a check here, okay, that I wrote on with a certain amount and that I want it on a certain day. Like, by a certain day, this is what my bank account got to look like for me to like cash that check to myself. And we've heard Mr. Thomas say that, write a check to yourself. Write a check to yourself. Look at it every single day. I have pictures here on my desk of my parents and my husband and everything, like why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have a fake $1 million bill here somewhere, but it's going to be real one day, okay? Even though they don't make them, but it's fine. Like it'll be real one day, okay? But you have to have that vision. Do not let anything derail you. Just look at your bank account, laugh, and say, this is temporary. And every single person that didn't believe in you, or every single person that said this isn't going to work, every single person that laughed at you is later going to come ask you and say, how'd you do it, dude? How'd you do it? Can you teach me? Can you show me? Can you guide me? Like, can you just, what's the one thing? Like, can you just give me one nugget? Okay, because the same people that laugh at you today are the same people tomorrow that are going to ask you how you did it. But they're not going to ask you if you don't do it. So the 3 keys again. Number 1, your why. Number 1 is your why. Number 2, you got to make a decision because it's literally Q4 and it's game time. Like, this is it. This is it. When Michael Jackson did the This Is It tour, he had no idea that this was really it. Okay? Like, this is really, really it. This is it. And number 3, discipline and commitment. And I gave you guys the secret sauce. Like, this 100 squares changed our life. And you will get so much momentum. You will get so much confidence. You will get so much belief when you start filling in IBO, when you start filling in customer, when you highlight that ish and you're like, she was right, this is working. Just imagine that feeling and getting it over and over and over again. And let me tell you the last thing, I promise, and then I'll close with this. I went 60 exposures. 60 exposures during COVID before anything happened. 60. Talk about Thomas Edison with the 9,999. I was about to stop. I didn't even get to 100, okay? 60. But I promise you, whatever is on the other end of that is totally worth it. You're going to forget all about everything else before that. I believe in you guys. If you need me, you guys have my WhatsApp. You have my Instagram at It's Tasha Q. You got my Facebook. Just reach out to me if you need a little pep talk. I got you. Okay? But you guys can do it. Like, it's been long enough, and we deserve it. Our families deserve it. And we deserve to see our families having it while we're here. We deserve to enjoy life and experience it together. Because in the end, life is just the memories and experiences. Do not go up there and have a present waiting for you. Experience everything here. So with that, Ms. Castro, I'm going to pass it back to you. Thank you guys so much.
Wow, what an amazing call. You guys, I hope you guys took notes. Sorry, I have family in town. I don't know if you guys can hear the chaos in the back, but Miss Natasha, thank you so much for pouring into us. Thank you for giving us the 3 keys to success: the why, the decision, the discipline, and the commitment, and the secret sauce that you shall not repeat. Just kidding. She said it's okay. The 100 square. Don't repeat it until after you guys have accomplished it, because that way they will see that you've done it. And, people like to see the proof. So anyways, thank you so much, Miss Natasha, for everything. We really appreciate you. I am so glad to see you back speaking, doing these calls, because it's just amazing. Learn so much from you. So thank you so much. The bottom of my heart. Everybody have a blessed night. God bless you guys.